Today we are going to be doing how to make the sleeve for the jacket. So we're going to be making the long sleeve. Now when you fold the fabric for the sleeve, you're going to make sure you add 2.5 centimeters more than your around the arm measurement. So this is your elbow, around the arm is here. So whatever you get at this point, you are going to add 2.5 to it. That will include your seam allowance. And because jacket tends to be worn over a blouse, you need to make sure the sleeve is a little bit looser than the undergarment. Okay? So we make it a little looser. So here we go. I have folded the fabric already for the sleeve. And we're going to put in the points now. So you take off your seam allowance, which is your 1.5 centimeter there. And then you're going to find halfway of the rest of your measurement. So you must take off the seam allowance. Then you get your outside length, and remember outside length is from the shoulder to the side of the elbow down to the wrist. So you're going to use the outside length for your long sleeve, and to that we're going to put 5 centimeters. So 1.5 will be left for the sewing at the head, and the rest is going to be the hem. Okay, now at the length of your sleeve plus the 1.5, you're going to use your wrist. And remember, we measured around the wrist, and it must be loose enough so your hand should be able to go through it. All right, so you measure the wrist, and half of that will be used here. So we have your center line drawn down. You can use a broken line that gets light. All right, and we get our length here and our hem allowance here. All right, so we have the 2 lines there. Now at this point, we're going to come down 4 centimeters. And over here is going to be 15 centimeters. Remember, those below 36 centimeters will come down here, 13 or 14. Above that it was 15. All right, so we're going to shape from the center, which is at the fold, to the 4, and then you come under to complete your curve. You have to keep practicing on the curve to get it correct. All right, so this is a fold. Remember, the sleeve is cut on the fold, and you're going to curve like that. Now after that is done, we join the arm, the head of the sleeve, to the wrist of the sleeve. Use your stick ruler for that. And the hem, you make sure it matches when you turn it up. So you put your ruler straight like that, and then you'll get the hem on a slight curve there. All right, so there we have the jacket sleeve. Okay, I'm going to cut that out, and we use this one to cut the next, because remember you need both sleeves. Cut that there. Cut across here. Okay, so this point at the center of your sleeve should be the highest point. Okay, here should be the highest point of the sleeve. All right, so that's one sleeve. So we'll bring the fabric up to do the other one. When you're folding for the sleeve or any section of the garment, make sure your rectangle is straight all the way, please. It's important, especially for the long sleeves, that the grain of the fabric is falling in the right direction, or else you're going to have a problem with the sleeve. It will get twisted. Sometimes some persons wonder why the long sleeve is twisted. It's because the fabric was not on the straight grain. So you are off the grain of the fabric. So it's important that you measure and get equal distance so you know you're on the straight grain of the fabric. The fold is placed exactly on the fold. Fold to the fold. And again, As I said to you, pinning is important because it holds the garment in place for you. Alright, so we'll pin here. Okay, we'll pin here. And we'll pin down here. So both sleeves are supposed to be the same when they're cut. Alright. There we go. So for the free hand cutting, you will use the first sleeve to cut the second one. And we cut it on a fold and then we'll adjust the front afterwards. So there we have the two sleeves, and I mark the center point because I'm going to be opening them out right sides touching. So remember, we cut on the wrong side, so we open it like this. Okay, then we have it right side up. Then we take this one, which was the first one, because we need to have the lines so we can see the construction line to do the front of the sleeve. So we put them, match your center, make sure the center is matched at the top. Everything is matched. The center at the bottom too, at the hem. And you line it up properly. Okay. Now I tend to pin again to make sure my center stays in place. So both sleeves are lined up together like that. And to get the front, we are going to come down at your quarter point 1 centimeter more. And this is going to give us the front. So you measure straight like that, straight down. See the line? Okay, straight down. And we're going to curve it. You're not to take any of the center of your sleeve. No, you're not to take any of your seam allowance at the side. Remember, you're going to sew the sleeve together at the side. So we're going to be taking it like this. All right, good. See? So it's there. We're going to cut that off. None must be taken from here. And this is going to give you the front of your sleeve. Okay, so fold that. Your paper gradually. Take off the 1.5 here. Okay. Now once that is done, I normally say your mark, so you remember that this is the front and this is the back. It is important because if you get into problem and put the wrong section to the back or to the front, your sleeve is going to give you trouble to go in. All right. I like to also fold them like this right away and pin them in place. So once you fold it like this, your F, you see the F for the front, so you right away know you're correct. One is the right sleeve and one is the left sleeve. Now notice the back is higher than the front, see? So this section is the part we cut off, so this is now the front, over here is the back. Remember, because we use the same sleeve to cut both, this is why we have to make the adjustment at this point. You must remember to make the adjustment before you go any further. And you pin it together. Now you did the color in when you did your basic bodice, but I'm going to go through the color for the jacket. The main difference is how the end is cut. There are two angles to cut the end of the collar. The same principle will be there where you pin your shoulder first before, all right? So I'm going to do the collar right away as well. So that's your sleeve. Now I've already pinned the back of the the jacket together. Remember, your seam allowance is 1.5 centimeters. So you're going to pin like that, and there you have it on the other side. Okay, so you can see that there. Now you leave 5 centimeters from the center front, the jacket. The lapel, the collar is not going to go all the way out to the end. So we leave 5 centimeters here. And we're going to measure from the center back. Notice I took off the center back seam as well. The seam allowance, I took that off because it should not be calculated in it. So we'll measure from here. Put your tape measure up like this. And measure your neckline. Okay, so you come right around the neckline, right around to where the 5 is. And I have 22 centimeters, all right? I'll do that again quickly. You come around and come around, that's the neckline. So we're going to cut the collar. The collar must be cut on the straight grain. So in this direction. It's going to come along the selvage edge. I'll use 10 centimeters for the fold because we're going to put interfacing, which is your stiffening, so we'll have to cut the end of it. All right, so I got 22. We're going to add 1.5 centimeter to the 22, so it's going to be 23.5. Okay, so I make sure I have my straight edge, and I'm going to do my 23.5. And that's the second fold. So we always cut the collar on the fold just like how we pin the neckline together, because we want to make sure the 2 ends of your collar, the 2 ends here are the same, right? So we fold again like that. And you fold this way. So it's 2 sets of 4. Alright, so at the fold from the center back, now we're going to measure 10 centimeters. So you come 10 centimeters there. Alright, and we're going to take off 1.5 at the end. That's the easiest way to remember. So we have a straight line here. That's for the 10, and then we come up at the end because the end of the collar will make them narrow. All right. So this is cut straight, and this is cut slant. Now I'll just show the variation on the end of the collar. Interfacing is a stiffening that makes the collar a little firmer. The name for that is Pellon. You can press it on or you can sew it on. So you can have this straight edge like that, or you can cut it in like that. You go 1 or 1.5 in at the end. Okay. You can go in like that, so it gives you a different effect at the top. You come down here, 1.5 as well, and you shape it up to the side. So I'll do both. So you can cut this like that. You can cut it in like that. So you have 2 different cuts on the collar. Alright, so this now when you put it on the neckline, it will look like that. It goes up at the end, the other one will go straight. Alright, good. So that's cutting your collar for your jacket. Trust you found it informative. And remember to visit me at my page on Ville Sewing Studio on YouTube. Thanks for watching. I'm Villa Walker.